good debt versus bad debt. What are your thoughts?
Well,
what is good debt to you? What is considered bad debt for you? Any advice to the general public?
Well, good debt and bad debt, I mean, you're very familiar with that, so I'll let you elaborate, give your opinion on it, and then I can
Sure, like, so maybe good debt would be like you borrow money to invest in an asset that would generate like revenue, like, you know, so, or appreciate in value. So you buy a property, real estate property, it would, you know, give you some return, give you some money. So people may consider good debt meaning, oh, you borrow money to buy a real estate property, right? And then of course, I don't say all debt to buy a real estate property is good debt because somebody might be over leveraged.
Exactly.
And then and that's what the banks are trying to prevent, right?
Yeah.
And then just because you borrow money to buy something that generates revenue, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good debt. You just be like maxing out all your credit cards and like buying some like, you know, crypto or something like that. So it really depends. So there's no formula per se, but generally speaking, people think good debt is when you borrow money to invest in stuff like real estate. But it's not a cookie cutter rule, right? Depends on the individual situation.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I would agree with you. I think that good debt is using your money, as Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump has once said, debt is a very dangerous weapon. If you know how to use it, it can be very beneficial. If you don't know how to use it, it can hurt you quite a bit. So I think that if you use it to invest and buy assets that generate cash flows, I believe that it's good. But if you use it to buy things that actually depreciate in value, you know, take you 10 steps backwards, don't really add value to your lives or situation, I think that's where bad debt comes into play.
So like buying fancy cars or like, you know, people thought like buying material goods is like bad debt. But like funny thing is in the past couple of years, people who bought luxury watches actually made lots of money. Apparently luxury watches went up significantly. But
but again, that's where the whole printing money comes into play because the government printed so much money, there's so much excess money available in the market, people just, what am I going to do with it? That's why the luxury watch market really picked up. And now it's going the opposite because now they're shrinking the money, taking the money back, right?
But then the luxury watch market hasn't really gone down in price too much. I didn't see too much, but I guess demand and supply.
Supply and demand, and you know, models and brands and
exactly. Exclusivity. It's like the art piece, right?
Yeah.
It's like art.
Exactly.
Interesting. So would you like, how do you give recommendations for debt for people? Do you like, some people go, oh, I should like borrow money to invest in this particular stock, or I should, you know, like I should liquidate all my funds to buy this, or I should borrow a whole bunch of money to do this.
The first and foremost is you gotta do the calculations and make sure it makes sense in your situation, right? So if you're gonna borrow money, I always look at the cash flow, right? Like if you're gonna borrow, let's say $100,000 or $500,000, and your monthly interest payments is going to be just simple math, $1,000 a month, then whatever you invested in should be able to generate $1,000 of income coming in to help pay for the interest at the minimum, right? If the asset doesn't generate that much income coming in, then your job should be at least able to cover some of the interest. Exactly. Right? Because the asset that you're buying may not generate income, but it appreciate capital appreciation. So it may not generate the cash flow, but your job itself should be able to cover the interest payments, right? So I think that when you use debt to as a tool, first and foremost, you gotta look at the cash flow.